Let's sing a song full of hope, full of pain. Why don't you sing along, my friend? For it's our last refrain. Forever young, ever strong, ever brave. Memories like this never end. No, they don't fade away. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. Here's to the ones who let shine through the rain, the ones who stood for something more. We won't forget your names. The tide is high, say goodbye, we set it sail, and all those midnight secrets told, we'll take them to the grave. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun. Close to the sun. So when I'm gone, oh, when I'm gone, I'll be right there, close to the sun. Keep holding on, and I'll be right there, close to the sun, close to the sun.
Hey, what's up everyone? Welcome to Fantasy Premier League with FPL Wizard. I hope you're all fine, I hope you're all safe, and I hope you're all having fun. If your teams are settled, well and good. If not, I'm right here to help you with your teams, my friends. I welcome you all to the live stream. Thank you so much for being here. Sushan, Yash, Shilendra, Dan. I welcome you all. Harpreet, good evening and welcome. I hope you're all fine. I hope you're all safe. So, Shilendra says, I've included Sochik for Barclay in my 11. Your views, Wiz. Yeah, I think Sochik is a good option, my friend, because West Ham gonna play Fulham, so I guess it's a good idea to play anyone you have against Fulham and maybe West Brom as well. Hey Prateek, welcome. Prateek says best replacement for Danny Ings. That's a big blow to Southampton, to be honest with you. Anybody who owned Ings, he was a fantastic FPL asset. I think he would affect all the other assets as well. All the other Southampton assets as well. The injury to Danny Ings is a huge blow for them as well. Hey Samuel. So how to replace Danny Ings? I mean, you could possibly, there are two options which you could take to replace Danny Ings. You could possibly upgrade, and you could look towards upgrading towards somebody like Vardy, or maybe Timo Werner or Harry Kane if you don't have him already. I mean, if you want to replace things with someone cheaper, then you could look at somebody like Callum Wilson, Patrick Bamford, maybe even Che Adams, because now maybe he's gonna have more chances. But I'm not too sold on Che Adams because I think Danny Ings' injury will affect his FPL returns negatively more than positively. So yeah, those are your options, my friend. Lots of forward options. Yeah. Samuel says hi, Wiz. You hope you're doing well. Hey, Samuel. Welcome, my friend. I'm doing pretty well. I hope you're doing fine as well. Elron says, who do you prefer, long-term Chilwell or Cancelo? To be honest with you, my friend, I think I prefer Chilwell over Cancelo because I think Chilwell is more nailed on. You can never be sure with Pep, although Cancelo is playing in midfield, creating lots of chances and stuff, but I'd still prefer Chilwell over Cancelo. Sushant says opinion on Mope as captain, just want different. Sushant, to be honest with you, I don't think Mope is a good option because I think he has some problems in the dressing room with the manager. He didn't play last week and I'm not even sure if he's going to play this week. To be honest with you, this is not the week to be captaining a differential. I'll tell you why. Because Spurs have a really good fixture and many people will be captaining Harry Kane, maybe Heung-min Son. Chelsea has a decent fixture and many people will be captaining him. So I think this week there's an obvious captaincy candidate and I don't want to go for a differential this week. That's my opinion. Yash says, I asked for Trent Alexander-Arnold plus Zaha replacement, so I finally went with Rashford plus James. Plus James, okay. I think that's a good option, my friend. To be honest with you, the reason I didn't prefer Rashford is because, long term I think Rashford is a decent pick, but against Everton, I just think he never does well against Everton. For some reason, I have this idea about Rashford that against Everton, I remember owning him against Everton a couple of times. He never does well. I don't know what's the reason behind that, and but this is something with Rashford. That's the reason I was talking about, not Rashford, but it's a good option. Hey Jonathan, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Dan says, which is better? Jimenez to Watkins, Barkley to Grealish, Size to Chilwell for a -4, or Jimenez to Wilson, Size to Chilwell for 2 free transfers. Watkins, Grealish and Chilwell, or Wilson and Chilwell. I think you don't need to take a -4, Dan. I think Wilson and Chilwell are good enough, my friend. Hey Dakla, welcome to the live stream, my friend. Tamil says, Wiz, do you think it's time to switch from Trent to Chilwell since Chilwell is also on set pieces? Yeah, I think I think we've stuck with Trent for a very long time now, and if we get rid of Trent, I don't think we're wrong in doing so because he's not showing enough in the Premier League to warrant a 7.4 million price tag. Although he can bang in any game, that's how Trent Alexander-Arnold is, but I would not be averse to kind of selling Trent Alexander-Arnold. So yeah. Number says Son or Salah for captain, or should I try someone like Grealish or Fernandes? Number, to be honest with you, out of these, the only realistic option is Son because Salah plays against Manchester City away. I think that's the hardest game of the season for them in the Premier League, right? Grealish plays against Arsenal away, not too tempted by him. Bruno Fernandes is kind of a differential pick. Last year he did well against Everton away as well, and he generally tends to play well away from home, especially because United are sitting back a little bit and counter-attacking, and that's where he excels a lot. So, you could go for Fernandes if you want a differential, but Son is a good enough pick in my opinion. Yashmina says Reece James. Yes, Yash, got that, my friend. Sushant says thanks for the opinion. You're welcome. Aditya says hi Wiz. What about bringing in Yota for long term? Aditya, welcome to the live stream, my friend. I think I've been looking at Yota for a past couple of game weeks. The only problem is that we can't say with any fair level of certainty that Yota is nailed on. If he was nailed on, he's a no-brainer, my friend. 6.3 or 6.4 million for a Liverpool player who scores goals every game week is diamond, right? But I think we should wait for this game week because this is a very difficult game week anyway. And let's see if Klopp plays him against Manchester City, and if he's able to replace Firmino, then why not? Why not? Danforth says James is fit. Yes, James is fit, and we saw pictures of him in training, and I think James Rodriguez is going to play this game week. If he's going to get any points, who knows, but at least he's fit, so yeah. Why Che Adams? Also, you are going to replace Havertz. Bellman, I have Che Adams since the start of the season, and he's done really well for me, so I don't see any problem with Che Adams. he's given me a 5-pointer, 11, 8 and 5. So I'm pretty happy with Che Adams. A cheap striker giving you decent returns. What else do you want? So yeah, I'm happy with Che. Yes, I'm going to replace Havertz. I just haven't replaced him yet. I've made one transfer, by the way, for everybody watching. I've made one transfer. I've taken out Roman Saiz for Chilwell. So I had Roman Saiz in my team. I took him out for Ben Chilwell. I still have one free transfer. I've got 0.4 million in the bank. And yes, I am going to replace Havertz, guys. And I'm going to make a live transfer on the stream tonight. So yeah, stay tuned, guys. There's lots of questions coming in here. Can I get some advice, says Michael, thinking Sterling out this week for Jota or Zaha, and then I could do Mitrovic to Werner or Vardy, undecided as Sterling has good fixtures upcoming. Michael, I think for this game week you should let Sterling be, because last season, after Liverpool had won the title, Sterling scored 2 goals and 1 assist in one game against them. So I wouldn't be averse to keeping Sterling for this game week. And also, I'm not sure if Jota is going to start or not, and Zaha doesn't have the easiest fixture. So I guess keep Sterling for this game week, and then you have international break to make the decision. Dakla says Newt Pulisic replacement, 6 million or less, as I'm planning to do Son to KDB next week. For 6 million or less, you can go for somebody like Soucek, because West Ham has amazing fixtures. You can go for somebody like McGinn. I wouldn't be averse to McGinn, because after this game week, Aston will have really good fixtures as well. So those are the two people I would have a look at, my friend. Yash says, yeah, but Manchester United have got fixtures coming, probably long-term good choice Rashford. Yeah, that's true. I already said Rashford is definitely a good long-term choice. I wasn't sure only about this week. That's what I said. Caleb says, I took your advice on Chilwell. To be honest with you, my friend, I think Chilwell is the best defensive asset in the game right now. Attacking, playing for a Chelsea team who's kept 5 consecutive clean sheets. I mean, with Kepa Arrizabalaga going out and Mendy coming in, it's made a lot of difference to the defense. And if they can keep clean sheets and get attacking returns, at 5.9 million, what else do we want from a defender? I'm very happy with him. Adrian says, why Chilwell and not Zuma? Both look they could be rotated at times. To be honest with you, Adrian, I think the returns from Zuma are more difficult to sustain. I think Chilwell takes corners sometimes. I think he attacks. He practically plays on the wing. I think his returns are more sustainable. Chopin says, I got Pulisic. I got Pulisic, bringing in KDB or Bruno Fernandes. For Pulisic, got 3.8 million in the bank. For this game week, I'd possibly get Bruno Fernandes. Even for the long term, Bruno Fernandes is not the worst option. After game week 10, I would look at Kevin De Bruyne, because they play Fulham and Burnley at home. But until then, Fernandes is a decent option. Definitely. Pratik says, will Cresswell play? He got a bit of an injury in training. I got him this week. To be honest with you, Moyes wasn't clear on Cresswell, but he said that he had trained, so hopefully Cresswell can play. But I can't categorically say whether he's definitely going to play or not. Elron says, do you prefer Kane or Son for captain? Son has the better form stats playing away. To be honest with you, Elron, out of Son and Kane, 10 times out of 10, I'd say I'd pick Kane. That's the way I play the game. That's the way I think about the game. So in my opinion, I'll always pick Kane. One reason is he's on penalties. Number says, thanks for the captain suggestions. Can you suggest who should I start, Ait Nouri or Saiz? This is very difficult to say, my friend. Ait Nouri's played one game, and this is very difficult to say. But if I was you, I'd possibly start Ait Nouri, because he started last game week and he played really good. He scored a goal. I don't see any reason for Nuno to drop him until he considers Leicester a difficult fixture and possibly he wants to play a more defensive-minded player. But I would start Ait Nouri if I had both of them. I think it won't be a bad idea if you want to transfer one of them out. Danford says, guys, like the video. Thank you so much. Ray says, Namrit, who's your captain? Give a like to the stream, says Shalendra. Thank you so much, guys. I appreciate that. Sagar says, Robertson, Dallas, Walker, Peters, Chilwell, Lamptey. Whom to pick between back three? That's a really good defense, my friend. For this game week, I'd possibly go with Walker, Peters, Chilwell, and Robertson or Lamptey. I think you have really good defense. It's very hard to pick 3 out of them, but I'd stick with I'd definitely pick Chilwell. Maybe I'd pick Walker Peters as well, and then Robertson, Dallas, or Lamptey. You decide one of them. SH says, hi, is this your final team? No, SH, this is not my final team. I still have to transfer out Havertz. I'm just giving myself a couple of more moments to think whether I want to transfer him out for Hakim Ziyech or for Grealish. That's the reason I haven't made it. Siddharth says, hello bro, I am here. Was waiting for this stream for a long time. Thank you so much, Siddharth. I welcome you to the live stream, my friend. And I've already transferred out size for Chilwell. So one transfer has been made and I have yet to make one more transfer. ITX says, what's up Wiz? Hey ITX, welcome my friend. Danford says, yo Jag. Farik says, is Kyle Walker-Peters worth it? To be honest with you, at 4.5 million, we cannot say he's not worth it. I mean, Southampton has been keeping a good few number of clean sheets. Now, how their team form is going to be affected by the Danny Ings injury, because Danny Ings is the player who actually presses from the front and he initiates the press, and he is central to the way Southampton play. So I'm not sure if Kyle Walker-Peters can sustain his form or Southampton can sustain their form now after he's injured, but it generally is a good option. I think so. Harpreet says, I want to drop one off Salah, Kevin De Bruyne because they're expensive. Which should I drop? To be honest with you, my friend, I think Salah's fixtures are turning now, and after the Manchester City game, Salah has some decent fixtures, and Kevin De Bruyne has good fixtures after game week 10. So if you want to drop one now for 3 game weeks, you can possibly drop De Bruyne, but it's very hard for me to say because those two are amazing players and they can score in any game. But if I was to drop one, I'd possibly drop Kevin De Bruyne for 3 game weeks. If only for this game week, possibly Salah. Joram says Zuma's expected attacking return was more than Havertz in the last couple of game weeks. Actually, the reason his attacking returns expected goals was high because he's winning headers from corners, and that makes a huge lot of difference because that's in the box, right? So yeah. Shreya says, should I start Grealish or play a Brighton player like Bissouma or Lamptey? Shreya, if you have Grealish, I think you play him. Definitely, 100%. Aditya says, who is the proper replacement for Trent Alexander-Arnold, even though he performs well in the Champions League but isn't at par in the Premier League? Yeah, I know what you mean, and I agree with you. I don't think Trent Alexander-Arnold has reached anywhere close to the heights that we expect from him this season, right? So, if you want to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, I think Chilwell seems to be the best replacement. He's an attacking fullback as well. Chelsea are doing good defensively, have a couple of good fixtures. So if I wanted to replace Trent Alexander-Arnold, Chilwell is my first option. 100%. Yash says, my defense is Konsa, Walker-Peters, Reece James, Dallas, Kilman. Any changes required? If that's on a wildcard, Yash, then possibly you could change a couple. But if that's a normal defense, I think it's fine. I mean, Aston Villa has good fixtures. Southampton also. Reece James, I'm not sure if I want to keep him because he's prone to rotation a little bit, right? Dallas is fine and Kilman fine too. So in my opinion, it's good. Raghav says, hi bro, Ayling or Taylor? Raghav, it's a very difficult one to say because Taylor plays against Brighton, right, who are not very good attacking wise, and Ayling plays against Crystal Palace, who are also not really good attacking wise. So both look good for maybe a clean sheet, but I think Ayling, due to his attacking potential, possibly a little bit, I'd pick Ayling over Taylor, but it's really hard to say. Start Lamptey or Size? If I was you, I'd possibly start Lamptey because I think at least he's nailed on to start, right? Nehal says, hey Wiz, Size to Chilwell done for me. Have one free transfer, thinking of Jimenez to Dominic Calvert-Lewin or roll a transfer. Nehal, I think this game week, possibly you can roll a transfer. I don't see Dominic Calvert-Lewin scoring too many goals against Everton. So even if you could roll a transfer over the international break, having 2 free transfers I think is a good idea, right? But if you think that Dominic Calvert-Lewin can score more than 1 goal, then possibly you can do it. But if I was you, I'd possibly keep Jimenez for 1 more week. David says, what about Jorginho? Should I transfer him out? David, I think you can transfer him out. The reason being, he is not on penalties anymore. I think Werner has taken over the responsibility from him for penalties. So if penalties are gone, I don't think that there's the added bonus of having Jorginho is gone. So other than that, I don't see any point in keeping him. Nigel says Salah to Ziyech to accommodate Kane to Ings. Nigel, if you want to, you can do it. I mean, you could, there are a couple of options in this price range. Ziyech, Grealish, and James Rodriguez. So yeah, you can downgrade Salah and get Kane. I think having Kane in this game week is a good idea, in my opinion. Sagar says, do you think Ziyech and Fornals can get more points than Zaha and Grealish? Possibly, my friend, in this game week, both Ziyech and Fornals have better fixtures than Zaha and Grealish. Possibly, Fornals, I wouldn't trust Fornals too much, but he's been putting up average numbers. Not the best, but he's been putting up okay numbers. Ziyech, possibly. Sheffield United are looking to improve. That's the reason I haven't made my transfer yet. I've been giving myself more time to think because I was almost set on getting Ziyech in place of Havertz, right? But then I thought that City managed to score one goal against Sheffield United. How much more can Chelsea score against them? That's the reason I'm waiting on Ziyech, because long term, possibly I don't want Ziyech, I want Grealish. So that's the reason I'm possibly waiting on my decision a little bit more, maybe 10 to 15 minutes more to think at the back of my mind, and then I'd make it. So yeah. Chopin says, do you think Sayas will start? Chopin, if I thought he would start, I'd possibly keep him, but I think, Nuno has three players to play in the same position: Kilman, Markal, and Sayas. And I think the way Kilman is playing at the moment, I don't think that Sayas has a chance to kind of replace him. If Kilman makes a huge mistake or has a bad game, then possibly, otherwise not. Normal defense, not a wildcard, says Yash. Then I think, yes, your defense is fine. I don't think you need to make any changes, my friend. Nihal says, my defense is really heavy now. Trent Alexander-Arnold, Chilwell, Dean, Ayling to start this week. Nihal, possibly, next week, Trent Alexander-Arnold can go and you can possibly take the money out of your defense. Even this week, you could move him out for somebody like, Cresswell if he was fit. But, I think it's a good idea to have two transfers over the international break due to, COVID problems, injuries and all that stuff. To handle those things, you should have two transfers. That's a better idea in my opinion. Razif says, hey Wizard, hey Razif, welcome. Dampiero says, KDB or Sterling or Salah. Dampiero, I don't understand what you mean, but if you mean you have to select one of them for your team, I'd possibly go with KDB for the long term, or Salah, not Sterling for me. Ishan says, should I play Dallas or Zaha? In my opinion, there's no question there, my friend. I think I'd play Zaha over Dallas. If you have a player who costs 7.3 million, you play him, Ishan. Aditya says, is Tariq Mitchell being dropped as Patrick Van Aanholt is back? Should I transfer him out? He's an enabler, right? So until and unless you have other problems in your team, and if you want to get some other player, if you have funds to get other players, you can just keep him on the bench. I'm not sure about Tariq Mitchell being dropped entirely. Maybe he's going to get some game time, maybe not, But I think if Patrick Van Aanholt is back and fully fit, then I think Tariq Mitchell is going to be out. Yash says Dominic Calvert-Lewin against United, not a good choice. Well, Dominic Calvert-Lewin against anyone is a good choice for at least one goal, my friend. He scored a goal against Liverpool. Why can't he score against United, So, in my opinion, it's fine. FPL Sam says, hello Viz. Hey Sam, welcome, my friend. Samuel says, with Telles returning to fitness and probably going to take most of the set pieces, do you believe Rashford is a much better option than Bruno long term? Samuel, I think Bruno is still better, because Bruno take penalties. And that's an added bonus and a big asset for FPL managers. So if I had to choose between Rashford and Bruno Fernandes for my team, and if I had the budget, I'd possibly go for Bruno Fernandes. Chilwell Captain says Leicester, big risk. Leicester, to be honest with you, this game week, I wouldn't take any risk on captaincy. I think Spurs have too peach of a fixture to kind of take a risk, if you don't captain Harry Kane or Heung-min Son, or maybe Timo Werner, and the other one bangs, and it just puts you at additional risk unnecessarily at your game week. There's gonna be few game weeks in which there is no clear captaincy option, and then you take such risks, it's worth it. This game week, in my opinion, not worth it. Devendra says, hi Wiz. Hey Devendra, welcome my friend. Sid says, what's up Wiz? Sorry I'm late, was thinking to get Cresswell for size. Welcome Sid, I'm glad you're here. I'm not sure about Cresswell, if he's fit or not. There was a little bit of a doubt about him. I think he's gonna play, but we can't be sure. But if you feel he's fit and he's gonna play, I think Cresswell long term is a good option. No doubt about that. Shulendra says, get James Rodriguez, no brainer. Well, gonna think about it, my friend. Sai says, I have Ings and Jorginho, wondering whether to bring in Bowen for Jorginho and Werner for a -4. Would you bench Ings and change him next game week? To be honest with you, not a bad -4 to take, my friend. I'm not sure where your rank is at, but that's not a bad hit to take in my opinion. Long term, Werner has good fixtures, so yeah, you can do that. Even Jared Bowen has good fixtures, so yeah. Jay says I have Kane and Son. Which one to captain? Jay already answered that. I think if you have Kane and Son, you captain Kane because of the penalties. That's what I would do. Have you confirmed the Chilwell transfer? Yes, I have confirmed the transfer, Razif. It's already done. One transfer made, one to go. So guys, if you're enjoying the stream, if you enjoy my streams generally, please consider liking and subscribing. Let me have a drink of water. I'll be back to answer your questions. Alright, here I'm at. Nigel says Mane, Ziyech, or James to replace, or James, I guess. Mane, Ziyech, or James to replace Salah. I have Grealish, Son, and Bruno. I think Grealish, Son, and Bruno are good options, and if you want to replace Salah for this game week, I think Ziyech or James could be the best option. Mane, not so much. You know, that's the reason I'm considering for my team as well. I'm thinking about 3 players: Ziyech, James Rodriguez, and Grealish, you know. And I'm just I wanted to get James Rodriguez in my team, and now he's fit. The problem is he's playing against Manchester United. That's the reason I'm thinking a little bit what to do about that. And Ziyech has the better fixture, but I think maybe I'll end up getting James Rodriguez. You know, who knows what's gonna happen there. Joram says Dominic Calvert-Lewin to deliver the last blow to Ole's job. Who knows? There's a lot of pressure on Ole at the moment. What's your total points? Says I think I forgot to update my points. I knew I was forgetting something, guys. I got 49 points last game week in game week 7. Hang on, let me update it, guys, so that nobody can be confused. And I have total of 396 points. Is it updated? Yeah, there you go. Thank you so much for reminding me. I made a mistake there. JCam says thanks for your advice, Wiz. You're welcome. Lister says thanks, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Raghav says hi, bro. Place on Jimenez. I'm not sure if I read your previous question, my friend. I think I missed it. Trey says Kilman, Lamptey, or Westergaard. Who should I start? Out of these, I'd probably start Westergaard. You know, he has this threat from set pieces. You know, Lamptey is a good option as well, but I think Burnley would want to win one of these games, and Brighton not the best camp at the moment, not the happiest. Should I double up on Chelsea defenders? Yes, Yash. In my opinion, you want to, you can. Chelsea has been defending really well. If I had to do it for my team, I possibly wouldn't. One is enough in my opinion. Raghav says hi, bro, in place of Jimenez, Anthony Martial. Raghav, I'm not so sold on Anthony Martial at this moment in time. I think there are better options. Possibly, if you don't have Harry Kane, then you get Harry Kane. If you don't have Dominic Calvert-Lewin, you can go for him. And then I think third striker, you can go for somebody like Bamford. You can go for somebody like Callum Wilson as well. You know, I think those are better options at this moment. Neva said, second thoughts, Cresswell or Chilwell. I had the same option, my friend Sid, so I went with Chilwell. So their names sound similar, right? But in my opinion, I think West Ham and Chelsea defender, you go with the Chelsea defender. I think Chelsea is better defensively now with Edouard Mendy in goal. This star says James Rodriguez or Walker Peters. McCarthy already in. James Rodriguez, my friend, always. Best replacement says for Pulisic. Anil Pokeril says. Pulisic is a very weird one, right? Everyone got him into his teams. He was fit. He was gonna start. He was in the team, and then he got injured, his hamstring again. There's always such a problem with these players who are fast, pacey, dribbling players. There's always a problem with reoccurring hamstrings. You wanna replace Pulisic, my friend? Like for like, I would say you can go for Ziyech, you can go for Grealish, or you could go with James Rodriguez. I think these three are the best similar options, you know. If you want to upgrade and you have some money in the bank, you can possibly go for Bruno Fernandes. You know, I'm putting a little bit my neck on the line here because Manchester United are not playing too well, but I think Bruno Fernandes will do well in these upcoming weeks. Wimmel says, hey bro, are you going to bring in Ziyech for Havertz? Wimmel, I have a couple of options. Actually, the problem is I want Ziyech in my team. The problem is I don't want Ziyech for long term. I want Grealish for long term, right? But I don't want to bring in Grealish against Arsenal because I support Arsenal anyway. But the thing is, I don't think Arsenal are going to concede too many goals to Aston Villa. They might concede one or two. Who knows what's going to happen? But in my opinion, that's the reason I'm thinking about it. If I had to get for this week, I'd possibly go with Hakim Ziyech. But since I want to go for long term, and the players that I want are James Rodriguez and Grealish, that's the reason I'm giving myself additional 10 minutes to think before I lock my team. Aditya says City's fixtures from Game Week 10 to Game Week 22 is lit. Will Foden be starting as Jesus is back? I'm not sure about Foden. Never be sure about Foden because he's always going to be rotated. If you want a nailed-on player from City, get Kevin De Bruyne, my friend. Shrey says thanks for the advice. You're welcome, Shrey. Yash says it's only for this game week. We'll use wildcard next game week. Possibly, if you want to, you can update. You can go to defenders for 1 week. I mean, Sheffield United scored against Liverpool, right? They almost scored against City as well. They had a couple of chances, not too much, but I feel that Chelsea can keep a clean sheet. But double defense is always a little dangerous with a team like Chelsea, who don't have the best. Historically don't have the best defensive record against under Lampard, but they are starting to improve. So you can go with that. If I was you, I'd possibly, if I wanted, I wouldn't do it for 1 week. But if you want, you can go for it, my friend. Sagar says, after the West Brom game, is it time to ditch Spurs assets for City assets? I think I'd keep them for 1 more week because you can't just ditch players who are in good form. We always go for form over fixtures, right? So I'd possibly keep them for 1 more week, and City's fixtures turn in game week 10, then possibly we can move them on, at least one of them. FPL Sam says, for your information, Mitchell is out, guys. Thank you so much for the information. Caleb says, also in hindsight, do you think I should have gone Cresswell instead of Kufal? I'm kind of having a deadline panic. Caleb, to be honest with you, I always would have selected Cresswell over Kufal, but I think if you've selected Kufal, he gives you additional money and you can invest them elsewhere. So do not be too concerned about the transfer you've already made, and I think it's fine. In my opinion, both are fine. Cresswell I'd prefer a little over Kufal, but not too much. It's fine. I think you can strengthen your team elsewhere, and it's gonna even out a little bit. Samuel says, do you think with Podence getting subbed always, do you think we have to replace him soon? Samuel, I wanted to replace him this game week. If I had the money in the bank to kind of transfer out Havertz to James Rodriguez and Podence to Grealish, I would do it this game week. But since I don't, I'd possibly end up keeping Podence for 1 or 2 more weeks and then move him on for Grealish. So yeah, I guess we're stuck with him. At least I'm stuck with Podence for a couple of more weeks. Ashik says Bowen or Fornals. For me, I'd possibly go with Bowen. I just feel that he's more attacking, although Fornals has been scoring more goals than the assists. If you look at the games, I think Bowen has opportunities, Jared Bowen. So there's not much between them. They're both 6.3, 6.4 million, and if I had to select one, I'd possibly go with Jared Bowen. Nishchal says, would you retain Adams? Nishchal, I think I'm gonna have to keep Adams because I think there are a couple of other problems in my team that I have to address, and with Danny Ings injured, maybe Che Adams can get some more chances. Maybe he's on penalties. Who knows what's going to happen? But at 5.8 million, I think he's given enough and he's shown enough for me to keep him. Danford says go for Grealish, fam. Yeah, that's actually I wanted to go for Grealish. The problem is this week he doesn't have a good fixture, and that's the only problem I have. Otherwise, I would possibly go for Grealish. Actually, the thing is, I want James Rodriguez and Grealish in my team as soon as possible, and who knows what's gonna happen. Yeah, if I put Grealish in my team, it doesn't help me getting James Rodriguez in place of Podence. I'll still have to take a hit next week, and that's a problem. Joram says, Wiz, when are you thinking of wildcarding? I'm gonna wildcard in game week 15 or 16. I'm gonna prepare for the double game week, try to take advantage of those couple of game weeks. They're gonna come. Aditya says, thanks for the advice, Wiz. You're welcome, my friend. Sid says, thanks, bro, for the long term. Cresswell seemed nice, but to get KDB in game week 10, I need to get in Cresswell, but Chilwell is tempting. Sid, it's fine. Sometimes you have to look at your team. the budget of your team and your long-term plan, and then make your transfers. Sometimes, you have to make these decisions, my friend. All good. Have you lost faith in McGinn and Barkley now, says Girid. I haven't lost faith in McGinn, my friend, and I never had any faith in Barkley. I always advocated having McGinn, and if I have the chance on my wildcard, I'd possibly get in McGinn right now because the fixtures are good after this game week, and I think McGinn is value for money. He's not gonna get double-digit returns every week, but I think he's value for money. Parva says Masuaku or Kufal. In my opinion, out of these two, I'd go for Kufal. And he says triple captain Kane. If you want to, my friend, it's more of an instinct-based decision to triple captain, but I would not use my triple captain right now. There's gonna be double game weeks, there's gonna be more good fixtures, and we can always use it later. Long season, my friend. Let's not waste our chips so soon. Martin says, should I start Bowen or Trossard? If I was you, I'd possibly start Bowen, my friend, because the fixture is really plumb. Fulham are really bad at defending right now. Yash says, thanks, you're welcome, Yash. Dan says, if Aston Villa are to score, then Grealish is definitely involved. I agree with you, Danforth, but Arsenal are the best defensive team. I mean, they've conceded the least amount of goals in the Premier League. It's hard to imagine, right? It's hard to even believe that Arsenal are this team. But under Arteta, we are no longer the free-flowing attacking team we used to be. Not at all. We are defensively pragmatic, and we defend deep and we possibly counter. So it's very hard to score against Arsenal. Very hard to say. Devender says captaining Rashford this game week. Devender, you know that Rashford hasn't ever scored a goal against Everton, right? in the Premier League, at least. So be careful, my friend, but good luck to you. Elron says, which sites do you use for stats? Do you have a favorite FPL podcast, says Elron. That's a very, very good question, my friend. For stats, I sometimes use some apps on my phone like SofaScore. I use Transfermarkt, and I use FPL Hub sometimes for the stats. And my favorite FPL podcast is FPL Wire. There's no better FPL podcast. I mean, it's amazing the amount of information and the amount of FPL experience there is. Late Riser, Zofar, and Big Man Bucker was on that FPL pod as well, but unfortunately he had to skip a few months due to his exams, right? But FPL Wire is the pod. If I listen to one pod, I'd listen to FPL Wire. Generally, I tend to stay away from podcasts. The reason is because then I have to come here and talk about FPL, right? And I don't want my opinions to get affected by what other people are thinking. So if I listen to one podcast, that is the FPL Wire, but I don't listen to too many, to be honest with you. Elron says, any advice on how I can stop taking hits? I think I'm addicted. That's very hard to answer, Elron, but in my opinion, taking hits is not... I mean, the way you play the game, it all depends upon whether you need to take hits by the way you play the game or not. If you're that kind of a player that you want to get in attacking players every game week and attack the game week and score heavy points, take heavy hits, be my guest. That's your playing style, and it's very hard to change your style, in my opinion. The kind of person you are in real life, it reflects in the way how you play FPL, in my opinion, right? Nike says, who should I start, Justin or Keane? Oh, that's a difficult one. I mean, maybe a little bit. If I was you, I'd possibly start Keane versus United. A little bit controversial, but I would do that. Best replacement for Size is Cruz. I mean, if you're gonna like for like, then I guess your best bet would be Kurt Zuma because he's in the same price range. Cresswell seems to be a really good option, but I replace Size with Chilwell. So for me, Chilwell is the best replacement if price is not a bar. Aditya says players like Trent, Bruno haven't showed their color till now, which makes me think of transferring out right now. Your thoughts, Wiz? I mean, if I didn't have other problems in my team, I would possibly move out Trent Alexander-Arnold in this game week and, replace him with Chilwell, replace Podence with Grealish, and replace Havertz with Ziyech or James Rodriguez, and my team would be awesome. Unfortunately, I had to replace Sias, and Trent has to wait for some more time before I can take him out. But it's a good idea. Martin says, thanks bud, you're welcome Martin. Parva says, is double Aston Villa defense good option? Not this game week, my friend. Maybe from next game week. Guys, if you enjoy what we do here on the live stream, please do consider like and subscribing. I would really appreciate that. Thank you. Neva says, Wiz, if you had to, whom would you sell, Ailing or Taylor? To be honest with you, my friend, that's a difficult one. But I'd possibly sell Taylor. The reason being, Ailing has an attacking threat. Taylor has none practically, and Burnley don't look too good this season as well. So maybe when Benby comes back and Tarkowski and all those guys, and they have a team which is better performing, maybe Taylor. But right now, I'd possibly sell Taylor. And it's a very difficult one because Leeds are not doing too well defensively either. So it's selecting the worst out of the two. But I'd possibly sell Taylor. So yeah. Nishtil says sell Bruno and bring Rodriguez. No, Nishtil, in my opinion, if I had Bruno Fernandes, I wouldn't sell him. I would keep him because I think Bruno does well away from home, and United's next 4 fixtures, 3 are away from home, and I think I'd keep Bruno Fernandes. Neil says, do you think the difference between Cresswell and Kufal is worth the extra 0.6 million? I think it is, Neil. The thing is, the reason I think it is because Cresswell is on set pieces, and sometimes he scores from free kicks and he provides assists because he overlaps Masuaku. I think it's worth it. I think even at 5.1 million, Cresswell is worth it. Pratik says, congrats for 2k subs, Wiz, way to go. Thank you so much, my friend. We're moving on, right? Finally. I've been saying since Gaming 4 that we're close to 2k subs, but finally we made it. So thank you everyone who made it possible. Faiz says Pulisic out, so Mope would come in as first sub. Should I sell Pulisic for -4 or just trust Mope? If you have somebody else behind Mope, if Mope doesn't play to come in, then possibly. But the thing is, Pulisic has a hamstring problem and we're not sure how long he's going to be out for. So if I was in your place, I'd possibly sell Pulisic. Possibly. Get somebody like Ziyech or James Rodriguez in, and you get rid of a problem. And maybe James not this game week for a hit because he has a difficult fixture. But I wouldn't keep Pulisic because he's going to fall in price, and we're not sure when he's going to be fit again. Francesco says Dallas or Lamptey for this game week. To be honest with you, if I had Lamptey, I'd always start Lamptey over all the other 4.5 million defenders because I think he's the best cheap defender, 4.5 million around. Sid says Cresswell for size, Chilwell for Taylor for a -4 hit. I wouldn't do it, Sid. Play Taylor this game week. Brighton don't have too much of an attacking threat. Why wouldn't you play Taylor? Play Taylor. Don't get Chilwell for this game week for a -4. I mean, that's just my opinion, right? Chilwell goes and scores 12 points and then you say that I made a mistake. But in my opinion, if that was the decision that I had to make, then I would just get Chilwell for Sias. Or then, if you want to take a hit, then take a hit next week, my friend. Just get Chilwell in place of Sias. If you want Chilwell that bad, don't get Cresswell because Cresswell might have a problem, might start, might not start, and then you might think that I made a mistake and took a hit. Better go for Chilwell for size, and that's going to be good. Crew says bring in Tyrone Mings. Aston Villa fixtures look too good after Arsenal. I agree with you, my friend. Then bring him after Arsenal. I think that would be the better option. Elron says cheers mate. Cheers, Elron. Raghav says Size will start. I'm not sure about Size, my friend. It's very hard to say, but in my opinion, he might not start. Vice says, should I sell Tierney or Size for Chilwell? Sell Size, my friend. I bought Size 2 weeks ago for a hit. Unfortunately, I sold him for Chilwell. Sometimes you have to make these decisions because Size, nobody expected him to be dropped, right? But he was dropped, and I think it's a good idea to get rid of him. Naik says, after this game week, will it be worth to go for Telles? United plays West Brom and Telles has started training with the squad. Naik, let's see over the international break whether Telles is fit and what Ole says, whether United have a change of managers. Lots of things to be considered until next game week. So let's take things as they come, innit? Brover says, best defense for game week 8. Maybe we can think about Chelsea. Even Spurs, but I wouldn't go for Spurs because after this they have really difficult fixtures, and so in my opinion I would go for maybe Bellerin. I think Arsenal defense looks to be good, or Chelsea defense. I never imagined I would be saying that, but looks looks that way. Blender says Discord. So guys, yeah, we have a Discord server, and it's free to join, and we have a beautiful community building there where we talk about FPL and we have fun and enjoy in a pleasant environment. If you want to join, the link is in the description. Thank you so much. Abdi says who to bring for Mitchell. I mean, if you want to replacement, Kilman is the one, but Wolves have really difficult fixtures. So at 4.5, I would possibly think about Kufal. I think West Ham has a fixture swing from this game week, and Kufal is the one to target at that price range. Best striker to replace Mitrovic in the same price range, 5.8 to 6 million, says Michael. To be honest with you, Michael, in that price range, I'd be thinking about Bamford, because he has shown that he has the ability to sustain his goal scoring, and he scored a hat-trick a couple of weeks ago, so at that price range I'd possibly go for Bamford. Joe says, hey, sorry I'm late. No problems, my friend, you're welcome. Turflo says, hi, Wiz, any rotation risk with Zuma for Sias? I'm not sure about Zuma. I mean, Zuma's been doing well for Chelsea, and central defenders generally don't need to be rotated too much. Unless Lampard wants to bring in Rudiger, I think Zuma's fine. Sid says, thanks, Wiz, you're the man. You're welcome, my friend. Hassan says, any thought on Jared Bowen? I think Jared Bowen is a very good asset for FPL, and their fixture swing, I think, warrants getting one of their players. So yeah. Who's your captain, says Erwan. Michael says, what about Adams? Michael, you can go for Che Adams, but without Danny Ings, I'm not sure if he's going to be that effective, So that's my opinion. Alright guys, I think it's half an hour to go for the deadline, and I think it's time for me to set my team. So the thing is, the only option, I've already done one transfer. I've brought in Chilwell for Roman Saez, and the second one which I have is, the option is Grealish, Hakim Ziyech, and James Rodriguez. Long term, maybe I would want to go for James Rodriguez, especially for these 3 games, but over the international break, who knows what's going to happen. So possibly it's a good idea to target this game week, and so I think I'm going to restrict my options to Ziyech or Hakim Ziyech or Grealish, right? But this game week, Grealish doesn't have a good fixture, but after this, it's amazing fixture run for Grealish. Ziyech has a couple of good fixtures, right? But not the best, and this is a problem, right? Alright, let's go for Ziyech. Could we go for Ziyech? I'm sorry guys, just give me a second. Just gonna make up my mind and gonna make my transfer. And I'm seeing a lot of questions, guys. Give me 2 minutes. I'll be back and answer all your questions. I'm just making the final decision for my team so that I can put my final team and my captain on the screen, and you all can see exactly who I have. So if I go for Ziyech, I've got Sheffield, Newcastle, Tottenham, Leeds. Not the worst round of fixtures, to be honest with you, but I'd possibly, then I'll have to move on. I think I should go for Grealish. I think long term, my team, this game week, okay, I might not have the best result from having Grealish against my own team, Arsenal, but I think long term it'll help me, guys. What do you think? So I made this transfer. My gut said Ziyech for the longest term, guys, but it's fine, I guess. You have to make a long-term planning. I mean, if I'll keep planning for one game week like I did, I took a hit for Saez, right? And that game week, Saez gave me 7 points, and I was very happy with Roman Saez. But come on, I mean, now the second question is whether to bench Trent Alexander-Arnold, and that's a very difficult one as well. I've been thinking about that. I mean, I can bench Podence as well, or Kyle Walker-Peters. Trent Alexander-Arnold. Benching Trent Alexander-Arnold feels so wrong, guys. Just feels so wrong. I've been thinking about that. Alright. I'm sorry guys, I've taken a couple of minutes from the stream and I know I need to come back and answer your questions. And not even sure whether I should drop Trent Alexander-Arnold or not. In my opinion, we should, when you have Trent Alexander-Arnold, you always play him, otherwise it's bad. But I think for this game week, I think we can possibly bench him. For now, I guess let me come back and answer your questions. Let me give myself a couple of more minutes to think about this. Alright guys, so this is my current team and you can have a look. So I got Grealish, guys. I know it's it's the worst decision for this game week and possibly gonna come back and bite me when Hakim Ziyech scores lots of points. But I think Jack Grealish for long term is a good idea. So right, let me answer some of your questions and come back. So you know my question, right? So you know my transfers, you know my team. The only thing is team selection. I'll let you know. So Nishchil says good defending for 3-4 game weeks. For 3-4 game weeks, I'd possibly look at a Chelsea defender, Nishchil. Good options. Son or Kane captain, says Ervan. I have gone with Son, my friend. So I think, to be honest with you, if you want to go with Son, guys, Son is the more explosive option. I just went with Kane because I think having a penalty taker as your captain always gives you some assurance. Think about last week. What do you think? Like Kane and Son, many people went with Son, right? Son didn't have many options to score. Kane had a few options, but then he scored from the penalty, right? That's the reason I always go for somebody who takes penalties. This season, guys, like I've decided I'm going to target my captains. Everyone says away Burnley is super tight. Play Taylor, bench Podence. To be honest with you, it's a very difficult one. I mean, I think Podence is a good option and he plays well for the time he is on the pitch. I'm not even sure why Nuno takes him off. Why Nuno takes him off at 65 minutes every game? Because Podence has loads of chances to score. If he was a better finisher, I think Podence would have lots of goals, and I think he's going to improve. So keeping Podence is a good idea in my opinion. FPL Sam says Newcastle are scoring, I think. Who knows, my friend? I'm just giving myself more time to think. At least now you know my transfers, you know my captain. The only thing you don't know is how I'm going to line up for my team. So just thinking myself, giving myself some thinking time. Matthew Brown says, is it worth bringing in a Chelsea midfielder this week or roll it over for the next week for City and Liverpool assets? Matthew, to be honest with you, if you want to get in a Chelsea midfielder, who are you going to get? Like Hakim Ziyech, Mason Mount? I think it's a good time to bring in a Chelsea midfielder if you want to. You know, that's a good fixture. Sheffield, I know they're improving, but you can get in a Chelsea asset if you want to. Raghav says my midfield: Son, Grealish, Ziyech, Jota. Forward: Dominic Calvert-Lewin, Kane and Martial. Any change required? In my opinion, no, my friend. If you trust Jota to play, then your midfield looks perfect. It's pretty good and differential as well. Kelman or Grealish, who would you bench? Kelman, Jayant, always. Look at Son away record, bro. Erwan, I know. and you know, Son plays well away from home, but look at the team they're playing against. West Brom are going to be sitting back playing in a defensive deep block. It's not like they're going to be playing like Southampton, pressing high up and, you know, playing a high line and leaving spaces behind them. Son plays well most of the time when he's got space to run into, and Kane plays that through ball. So in my opinion, you know, Kane, I know Son can score more points than Kane, but in my opinion, Kane is the more safe pick. Guys, always for the captaincy, go with your gut. I went with my gut. I think Kane is the best option for my team. Even if he gives me less points than Son, he gives me a peace of mind that I require and we all deserve. Anyways, so let's move on. Welcome to the Grealish gang, says Chorim. Thank you so much, my friend. I hope he has a pleasant stay. Are you gonna stick on captaining Kane, says Sid. Definitely, Sid. I'm not gonna move my captaincy at all. Mahrez to Ziyech or Grealish? Or should I roll the transfer because Mahrez's game time is not guaranteed? If you want, you can move into... I mean, Mahrez is not the best asset to own in this game week. I'm not sure if he can bang against Liverpool, so if you want, you can move him on. And again, you have the same options I had, so you make the decision, my friend. I went for Grealish over Ziyech. I might regret it. Who knows? Joe Hale says, next week, should I bring in James, Grealish, Werner and Bamford, or Kane, Son, Ziyech and Callum Wilson? To be honest with you, Spurs fixtures are turning after this game week, my friend. So I think, Werner is a good option. Grealish, for the upcoming weeks, Grealish, Werner are better options. Even James. Yeah, for the next weeks, these are better options. Definitely. Benching Trent Alexander-Arnold at 7.4. Zod, I haven't made up my mind. Just thinking about it. Currently, just put him on the bench, but I might play him. Ashish says Doherty or Zuma. Have a say for this game week. If I was sure Doherty was nailed, if you are sure Doherty is nailed, I would possibly play Doherty, but I'm not sure he's nailed. So, my friend, if you have these two options to select, your team must be fantastic. I would actually play both of them, but if I had to play one of them, I'd possibly go for Doherty. It's a little controversial, but that's my pick. Matthew Brown says Ziyech. Go for Ziyech, my friend. Over Mason Mount, I think Ziyech is the better option, 100%, because he takes corners, he takes free kicks, and generally a better player. Go for over Mason Mount. Definitely go for Ziyech. Lores says play Bamford or Wilson. My God. Difficult questions all the time. Possibly Wilson, Lores. But this is a very difficult one, my friend. The reason I said Wilson is because Wilson is on penalties, right? Bamford can score against Crystal Palace, but Crystal Palace have a better defense than Southampton, so that's why I said Wilson. Alright. Adol says, hey Viz, Foden or Jota for game week 8? I mean, if you have Jota in your team, then possibly you can go for Jota, my friend. I think Jota is more explosive and, so in my opinion, Jota. Who should I get in for Sayas? Sully, I got in Ben Chilwell for Sayas, so that's my shout. But you can go for Cresswell, you can go for Zuma, you can go for Chilwell, you can even go for Hector Bellerin. Damdi says Anthony Martial. Damdi, I don't understand your question. Hey Peter, welcome to the live stream. Light Ray says Mope to Wilson for a -4. Great stream, Viz. Thank you so much, Light. Mope to Wilson. I mean, if you have Mope, I don't think this is the worst fixture to kind of keep him and hope he starts. Because if he starts, he has a good chance to score. If he doesn't, then maybe you have a good bench player to come in. But if you don't, then you can do Mope to Wilson. If I was you, I would possibly keep Mope for this game week. Zodiac says Trent Alexander-Arnold is Trent Alexander-Arnold, but I understand your doubt. To be honest with you, my friend, I'm not even sure if I'm going to bench him. I'm just thinking at the back of your mind. I'm talking to you guys, but I'm thinking about whether I have to play him or not. I'll let you know. I have 0 players for today, says Peter. Peter, I also have 0 players almost, but for the first game, right, the Burnley-Brighton game. For the second game, I have 2 players, and I'm not liking that too much because it's dangerous. Ailing or Ben Davis? Ailing, my friend. Rio says Jimenez out for Vardy. Not this game week. Maybe if you want to, you can. But Vardy doesn't have the best fixture after this game week. So keep Jimenez because Vardy plays against Liverpool next. But if you want to, you can. Vardy can score against anyone. But if you want to get to Vardy, game week 10 is your time. Everyone says Ward-Prowse play defender or midfield, you think? I heard fullback of Southampton have some injury. Ward-Prowse will play in midfield, my friend. I think they have enough fullbacks. In case one gets injured, they have others. They've got... I think... I'm not sure if Ward-Prowse is going to play fullback. So don't focus on the rumors. I think Ward-Prowse should be fine. Foden out for Fornals. If you want to, Pistangio. I mean, last season, you know what Foden did against Liverpool, right? But Liverpool were not in good form. So, in my opinion, you can go for Fornals. If I was you, I would possibly do it. Brought Wilson for Mitrovic for a hit, says Anas. Alright, my friend, that's fine. I mean, Mitrovic, again, he got 2 assists last game week. He's playing well. He's doing what is expected of him. He's on course to get 12 to 13 goals this season, along with 4 or 5 assists, and that's good for a 6 million player. That's fine. Peter says Chilwell is fit, by the way. Yeah, my friend, he should be fit. I just brought him in. I hope he's fit. Mike Green says, should I bench Robertson? Mike, this is your decision, my friend. I mean, it's a gut-based decision more than it is a logic-based decision. But in my opinion, the way Robertson is playing, I would possibly put him in my team if I had Robertson. Konsa or Ailing? Ailing, Nischel. I mean, I think it's a hard one to say in it, but because Leeds are not keeping any clean sheets either, so I'm tempted to say Konsa, but I'll say Ailing. Ashish says, will Ryan play this week? I am not sure, my friend. I think not, but who knows? Because keepers generally don't tend to be rotated. I'm not sure why he left him on the bench. Either there's a problem in the dressing room that we don't know about, because you don't rotate your keepers. Stick or twist with Robertson. Pura, I would stick, my friend. Aditya says, as Posant wasn't performing, I transferred him out for Foden. Do you think I did a blunder? And please tell me the solution. I have 3.3 million in the bank. Aditya, if you went with Phil Foden, then trust your instinct. You know, I would keep Foden. I would stick with him, and no regrets. Don't try to chase points. It's fine. Podence was blanking for so many weeks. If you transfer him out, that's absolutely fine. Don't go chasing points. It's fine. Pistangio says, I have Sterling already. I don't think I want two Manchester City players, so thinking Foden for Fornals. Pistangio, it's fine. If I was you, I'd possibly do it. Divis says, is Vardy captain okay? Against Wolves, he possibly will not get that many chances, but Vardy is always a decent captain option against anyone, so yeah. In my opinion, you can go with that. Game says, NATO... Divas, in my opinion, this game week, Kane and Son are the best options, but Vardy is a differential and a good captain. No problems with that. Game says NATO, Bellerin, Dallas, Grealish. 2 to start, 2 to bench. Start Bellerin and Grealish. Peter says, sorry, Cresswell is fit. He's marked as a groin injury. Okay. Yeah, I think Cresswell is going to be fine. I heard the press conference of Moyes and he categorically said that he trained and he's going to be fine, so hopefully. What about Manchester United assets is the work. I mean, Manchester United assets are good. Especially, I like the look of Bruno Fernandes. Other than that, not too much, but I like Bruno Fernandes as an asset. What do you think about Jota and Barnes? I think they are both nailed on. Barnes definitely nailed on. Jota not so much. I want to see him start regularly in the Premier League, not come from the bench and score. I want to see him start and then we're gonna make decision about Jota. If he was nailed on, we would all bring him in, right? So, yeah. So start Klish or Lamptey? I mean, Wilbur, I would start Klick in my opinion. The reason is he's on penalties for Leeds United, and yeah. And Wilbur says, should I captain Wilson or Fernandes? I mean, if those two are your options, my friend, then possibly Bruno Fernandes. But this game week, Kane is a very good option. The Varek says, what about Mitrovic? What about Mitrovic, my friend? If you have him, you keep him. 6 million striker getting you decent points. I don't see anything bad about Mitrovic. What do you think about picking Halle for the game versus Fulham? Says Doctor of Basketball. To be honest with you, Doc, I don't think we should pick Halle for one game week. If you want to keep him long term, then you pick him. But only for one game, maybe if you want to. If that's your playing style, you go for it. I wouldn't do it. Nike says Bellerin or Chilwell for long term. Nike, both are good options. Really, I mean, these are the two best options that I can think of at this moment in my mind. And maybe next week I'm gonna bring Bellerin in my team as well. So if I had to pick one of them, then that would be Chilwell. Excuse me. Deva says, is transfer of Trent Alexander-Arnold to Cancelo is good? I don't think so. For this game week, I don't think so. If you have Trent Alexander-Arnold for this game week, keep him. Cancelo plays against Liverpool. If you think Liverpool is not going to score, then you transfer him out. But, you know, I think Liverpool scores against City. That's my opinion. Captain Ziyech, Madridista says, I mean, if you want to, my friend, it's kind of a risky move, but it could pay off, right? If you don't have Kane, Son, Werner, then yes, you can. Why not? Aditya says if Klopp uses 4-2-3-1, then Jota will be a regular starter. Let's see, Aditya. We hope for the best. It would be awesome for FPL if he starts, right? Play Podence or Bamford? I'd play Bamford, my friend. Samuel says McCarthy or Ryan in goal? 100% McCarthy. Benching Trent Alexander-Arnold and Taylor Wiz. Yeah, I'm thinking about it, my friend. I think there's 10 minutes left. I need to lock my team, guys. So just give me a couple of minutes and let me lock my team, and then I'll come back and answer your questions. Meanwhile, you have some time and you hit the like and subscribe button, and I will appreciate that, my friends. Dang, who should I... This is a very difficult one, guys. Come on, this is not fair on me. You should not have enough good players in your team to kind of warrant this kind of headache. And this is what I always want to avoid, right? Always want to avoid this kind of problems. Trent Alexander-Arnold benching. Why am I benching Trent Alexander-Arnold? Because he's playing against Manchester City, right? But... damn. What should I do? Should I play Charlie Taylor over Ayling? Or Trent Alexander-Arnold? Guys, I'm sorry, I'm thinking out loud so that you can actually hear me and you don't get bored about what I'm trying to say here. But just give me a sec. I'm just trying to figure out what should I do. I've already thought about my team long and hard, and I never thought that I'm gonna bench Trent Alexander-Arnold. Ayling. How many points can Ayling score? Not too much against Crystal Palace. Attacking wise, maybe not. Clean sheet, possibly Zaha gets a penalty. Oh, difficult one to kind of... The thing is, Trent Alexander-Arnold is his free kicks. But the problem is that we don't have Van Dijk, right? And without Van Dijk, Trent Alexander-Arnold is not that effective. So if I put him in for Ayling... But Taylor has a decent fixture as well. I mean, Taylor looks good for a clean sheet, even more than Walker-Peters. I mean, I can... They don't have Ings, right? So why am I playing two Southampton players? Two Southampton players from the same game. This is interesting. I'm thinking... Beer Curran, give me a second, I'll come back and answer your questions. I just need 1 minute to set my team, guys. I'm just thinking out loud so that you can hear how I think about... But Walker-Peters is attacking. Who plays on the left side for Newcastle? Who's their left back? Richie? Not sure. Oh, that new signing, Jamal Lewis. He's attacking, so Walker-Peters can get behind him. I guess I'm gonna have to settle for this team. Maybe put even Taylor number 1. I can actually bench Podence and play Taylor, right? Leicester don't concede too many chances, do they? Maybe they can. It's very hard to decide, guys. I'm just gonna... Vice Captain Salah, Captain Kane. There you go. I kind of fixed my team, my friends. Now I'm back to answering your questions. Pistanju says, start Trent, go big or go home. Yes, I put him in my team, my friend. There you go. Go for a 4-3-3. Bench Podence, in my opinion, says FPL Sum. Problem solved. Yeah, that's true, my friend. Peter says, I'd bench Kyle Walker-Peters over Ayling. Do you really think that Leeds can keep out Zaha? Can they? I mean, Zaha can always win a penalty, right? That's my thinking. I think Zaha... Whenever you play against a player or a team which has Zaha in it, you know, even as a right? So they've got some trickster players who can win penalties and stuff, and Leeds play attacking aggressive games, so they tend to give away penalties. I just think I'd play Walker-Peters over Ayling a little bit. It's very hard for me to decide, my friends, but I think let's not talk about my team right now. Let's talk about your teams, and let me give you my opinion. By the way, guys, 8 minutes left. So if you haven't selected your teams right now, I think it would be a good idea to, lock your teams and lock and load and start. Oh, dang. Very difficult moment. Zodiac says Southampton got many injuries and not very good at clean sheet. Do you think Walker is better than Ayling and Taylor this week? Maybe not, my friend. Maybe not. You're right. You're right about the injuries, but I think when they are not having enough good players, they might play defensively. So I'm just, I think I'm gonna play Walker-Peters. It's difficult to if you have good bench players. It's always going to be difficult, right, to decide. I mean, I have 5 good defenders. I mean, that's a good thing, right? No, it's not. Deva says, where are you from, bro? Deva says, I'm from Punjab in India. So yeah, Is James Rodriguez playing this game week? Anas, yes, he's 100% playing. He was seen in training and Ancelotti confirmed that he is going to play. Oh, yeah. Peter says, do you think James will play for Chelsea? I think he can play, Peter. I think Lampard tends to play him in a game in which he wants to attack from the right-hand side. I think with Ziyech, he has some technical security over on that side. They can hold the ball. And I think with Hakim Ziyech being fit, I think James gets more playing time. That's just my opinion, but maybe. What about Bruno to KDB? Not for this game week, Saif. Never for this game week. Keep Bruno Fernandes. He did really well against Everton last season as well, and I think Everton are the kind of team that Bruno Fernandes can exploit. So you should keep Bruno. Very difficult decisions. Never have a good bench. And then we always say we should have a good bench. But yeah, there you go. Any other questions, guys? If not, then I can go back to thinking about my team. Lightra says team looks good. Wiz, best of luck. Best of luck to you too, my friend. I hope you have a good game week. Salam says, what about Mendy as the goalkeeper? I think Mendy is a good option. To be honest with you, Chelsea looking good. If you don't have a Chelsea defender, then you can get Mendy. But if you have a Chelsea defender, don't double up. I think that would be too much. Anas says KDB to Son for game week 9. KDB for Son for game week 9. Possibly, yes, you can do that. Yeah. Werner or Son captain? If I had to select one, I would possibly go for Werner or Son. Very difficult one. If I had to select one of them, I'd go Son. Yeah, definitely. If I had those two options, I'd possibly go for Son. Difficult, but remember one thing. Werner is on penalties for Chelsea. Before you make your decision, just know that Werner is the #1 penalty taker for Chelsea. My defense this week, Trent Alexander-Arnold, Taylor, Justin, benches, Konsa and Mitchell. It's fine, Zod. I like that. Are you intending on keeping both Spurs assets after this game week? Zorre, possibly I'm going to keep them for one more week against Manchester City and then move one of them on. And I don't intend to sell both of them against any team, right? So yeah. Atul says, hey Wiz, Ziyech for Marcus. I mean, if you want to, Atul, it's a very kind of a sideways move. I don't think there's going to be much difference between them. Marcus Rashford for the long term is a good option. Any update on the Ryan situation, Wiz, says Shilendra. I don't have any update on that, my friend. I tried looking on Twitter as well, and I don't see any update on Twitter as well. So hopefully we don't have any options or any updates on that. Oh, yeah. Joe says next week you could do Che Adams to Callum Wilson. I don't think I have enough money in the bank for that, but I don't even think I want to do that. I want to keep Che Adams, my friend. Nike says, who's better to keep for long term, Son or Kane? In my opinion, Nike, I think Kane is better. Nwanka says, Justin or Taylor? In my opinion, Taylor. Guys, 4 minutes left, lock your teams. Subra says, should I go for Taylor in place of James as there's rotation risk involved? In my opinion, Subra, I would go for James. I think if James starts, I think he has a bigger, higher ceiling. Atul says, thank you, you're welcome, my friend. Hey Wiz, I have a last minute transfer, says and go on and ask your question. Lightre says favorite West Ham defender at any price. Lightre is I think Cresswell. Noel says Kilman or Dallas. N says Zaha, Rodriguez, Grealish. I had the same doubt, my friend. I went for Grealish, but I didn't go for him for this game week. I went him for the long term. So if you're asking for this game week, I think Zaha is the best option. For long term, Grealish. Cancelo or Zuma. I think this game week, upcoming couple or 3-4 game weeks, Zuma is a good option. After game week 10, Cancelo. Ben Mee is also back for Burnley, I think. I think that's a good option. I mean, that's a good idea or a good thing that Ben Mee is back. I think Burnley defense is going to improve with Ben Mee coming back. Mitrovic replacement, says Peter. Bamford, Wilson. That's it. No other replacements. Bamford or Wilson. Aditya says Sice, Dallas, Cresswell with Justin and Mitchell on the bench. Any changes? Sice, Dallas, Cresswell. Possibly. I mean, if Sice doesn't start, then Justin comes in. It's fine, Aditya. N says I've also got Jota. Is that a good choice? Hopefully, and I'm not sure that Jota is nailed on, but if you have him, then I'd play him, yeah? Or Ziyech. I think Ziyech is a good option, but long term I still think that Grealish is the better option. He's the talisman of Aston Villa, so that's why I selected Grealish over Ziyech. Oof, guys, 2 minutes left. Lock your teams. I hope you don't miss the deadline. Go lock your teams. Start Dallas or Semedo. Diva says Mitchell is out. Yeah, definitely. BC says who to get in for Mitchell next week. Let's discuss this next week, my friend. This is deadline time. Let me answer the questions for this game week now. Werner and Calvert for cap. I don't understand, Sully. If you mean captain, then I think it's okay. It's fine. For attacking, yeah, it's fine. That's fine. I think Grealish is the best value player in the game this season. Guys, lock your teams. Let me refresh my team. I possibly might be making a mistake by playing 2 Southampton players. I still have a feeling that I am making a mistake, but I just don't know whether to play Taylor or... how many assists does Walker Peters have? 1 assist all season, innit? No bonus points. Is not a big risk, right? What if I play Taylor? Or Ayling, even? Should I play Taylor? I say let's play Taylor. I think let's divide the risk. Who cares? Let's divide the risk. I put in Taylor in my team, guys. I wanted to divide the risk a little bit, so I put in Taylor. Now, don't you dare punish me, you little Walker Peters. Okay. Guys, I had a change of mind. I did it. I used Taylor as well, says Zod. Ayling is greater than Kyle Walker Peters, says Peter. I just don't know what to do, my friend. This is a problem of having a good bench, but I decided on Taylor right at the last moment. It's fine. Anyways, guys, 1 minute to go. Lock your teams. Lock and load, everyone. Please, don't miss the deadline. That's the most important thing. And don't you dare, says Jovan. I already did it, my friend. You can see my team. The thing is, having a good bench means a headache. This is the reason why I always tell you, do not go with 2 keepers. When you have 2 playing keepers, you know what happens? Every week you have a decision to make, and this is a big problem for your teams, right? Anyways, so this is my team, guys. If TAA hauls, I'd be devastated, says Shilendra. He's not going to haul, my friend. The only reason why I put him in my team is because I own him, right? And when you own a 7.4 million player, you play him. Unfortunately, I just didn't have the courage to leave him out. I have been deciding entire week that I want to leave him out, but at the end, you just can't leave him out. It's best to just get him out of your teams. That's the only way you leave him out. N says midfield, Rodriguez, Zaha, Son, and Salah. That's pretty nice, my friend. That's good for this game week. Peter says TAA hauls. Hopefully, my friend, he's in my team, so if he hauls, I'm fine. The problem is if Ayling and Walker Peters haul, I'd be devastated. Everton last year was 24 points. Now, that was Leicester, Peter. He scored 24 points against Leicester. I'm pretty sure I owned him for that game week. So, I even gave a shout out on my video to a guy who actually captained Trent Alexander-Arnold against Leicester when he scored 24 points. So, fellas, this deadline madness is over. And the deadline is over, and I hope you locked your teams. Shilendra says I've asked him for Kufal. Good luck, my friend. I sold Trent Alexander-Arnold for expensive mids. That's fine. Replaced him for Bellerin. Very nice option. I think Ayling is going to do better than Taylor. I agree with you, Peter. I just, it was very hard to decide for me. Just wanted to divide the risk a little bit. Prediction time, Aubameyang is going to have a great game week. I'm not so sure, FPL Sum. The thing is, Aubameyang is at the fringes of Arsenal attack at the moment. The way Arsenal are playing, I am an Arsenal fan. I am tired watching their centre backs pass the ball between themselves. Gabriel to David Luiz to Gabriel. It's just not good. Maybe with David Luiz coming back, we have this option of outlet of a long ball to Aubameyang, and that's gonna be fine. But otherwise, Arsenal are not playing a free-flowing attacking football. So maybe, who knows? Anyways, Asad says, cheers everyone. Shlinder says, best of luck, Wiz. I hope Kane shreds West Bromwich Albion. Hopefully, my friend. Kane just hit 200 goals for Spurs in the Europa League, So he reached 200 goals in 300 games. A landmark to celebrate, and hopefully West Brom is going to be the victims. Lewis was playing some amazing balls in the Europa. Exactly, Lewis gives us this output, but if your central defender is your best outlet, attacking outlet, I mean, that is bad, right? That's not a good thing. So yeah. Anyways, guys, so if you enjoyed this stream, guys, and if I was able to help you make your decisions, please do like and subscribe. And if you want to join my Discord, the link is in the description. If you want to follow me on Twitter and chat to me, you can follow me at WizFPL, also in the description. And after this game week, there's gonna be a long international break, so possibly not gonna be an aftermath stream after this game week. But I'm gonna make a video and let you guys know about what's going on. And of course, after the international break is over, there's gonna be another stream and a deadline stream as well. So do join me there. I wish you all have a great game week and stay safe during the international break, my friends. Wish you all the best and have a great game week. Do not fret too much about your decisions and do not fret too much about FPL, guys. It's not a game of one game week. It's a game of 38 game weeks. The only time when we want to have a good rank is in game week 38. All the other game weeks are irrelevant. If I'm in the top 10k after game week 38, that's the only thing that counts. I can stay on 1 million for the rest of the game weeks. I don't care, my friends. And that's how we should play FPL, right? I hope you all take care of yourselves, have a great game week, and as I always say, may the arrows be green. FPL Wizard signing out. Take care, everyone. Bye bye.